everyone's using AI, and especially applicant tracking systems. So I just want to make sure people understand. You may have heard the word ATS, applicant tracking systems. It's AI that's embedded in uh, your application, how the hiring managers are viewing it. So one of those stories happened just last week when I had the opportunity to extend the job offer. And the process behind that decision holds an important lesson for everyone searching for their new opportunity. So, how did one candidate stand out from 1,600 applicants? So, here's the funnel, here's the hiring funnel. So, 1,600 people expressed interest, 109 candidates completed the application process. 28 met the core qualifications, and then we had 4 finalists. And how did that one receive an offer? So I want to share a little bit behind the curtain about how did that happen. And so I'm going to bring down the slide and talk to you all about how that happened. Because by the time we reached the final stage, every candidate was strong. They all had relevant experience. They all had impressive credentials. They were all capable professionals. So the question becomes, what actually made someone stand out? And the interesting part is it wasn't a fancy resume. It wasn't a complicated strategy. It was 2 simple behaviors that made certain candidates memorable. So the first thing that stood out was something many people overlook. I still don't understand why. They call it ghosting or being ghosted. Uh, and that is a thoughtful thank you note. After the interviews, only a few candidates followed up with thank you notes. But the ones that stood out were not generic. They weren't generic thank you notes. They didn't simply say, thank you for the opportunity. Instead, they referenced the conversation we had. They reinforced why the role aligned with their interests, and they expressed appreciation for the insights shared during the interview. That type of follow-up demonstrates something important: professionalism, attention to detail, and relationship awareness. Those are leadership signals hiring managers notice immediately. So the second thing that stood out, uh, the second thing that stood out, even more powerful, is real research. Certain candidates clearly demonstrated that they had taken time to understand the organization. One candidate even referenced in the Dear, instead of the generic Dear hiring manager or Dear whatever committee or Dear whatever, Dear HR, they referenced the CEO by name and wrote thoughtfully in a narrative way about the organization's mission. That told us something important right away. That person didn't just click apply, they prepared, they were intentional, they were curious about the work and the impact of the organization.